Hey everybody, in this video we're going to work with functions, and this time we're going to add parameters to them, and we're going to see how useful that is. So we've created some functions from last time, and we're going to add a little bit more to them to make them even more useful than what they were before. And we're going to do that by adding something called parameters. These ones don't have any parameters because there's nothing inside the parentheses. But parameters are additional information the function needs to do its job. And we'll see what that kind of looks like. So if we want to do this greeting one, we call the function by its name, which is greeting. And we'll see it says hello there. What if we wanted to say the person's name? We say hello there, Steve. Okay, good enough. But what if we wanted to have it say hello there, Becca, or something like that? Then we'd have to make another function, call this one Becca, change this one to Becca, and then when we call greeting Becca, like that, and we run it, then it says hello there, Becca. And that's all fine and dandy, that does work, but sometimes we don't know what the person's name is going to be until they enter it. And then we'd have to make an infinite number of functions for all of the names out there. Just not really feasible. So there's actually a better solution. And that better solution is to give this function a parameter, like a name. Now, down here, when we call the function, we can no longer keep this blank. We have to actually give it a name. Name in this case is going to be a string. So we're going to put the word Steve here. And we're no longer going to use Steve here. We're going to actually use the variable or the parameter that was passed in, and then make sure that you make this an F string so it gets nicely color coded and it shows that we used it now. So now if we run this function, it says hello there, Steve. And the cool thing is we can reuse the exact same function, but use it for Becca. We get hello there, Becca. So that is pretty awesome. We just made something that's that we can call a bunch of times, but now we give it like a little bit more of a superpower. That's what I mean by adding additional information so that the function can go ahead and do its job. And we also have this show welcome. So we can go ahead and call show welcome. And then rerun it. And we're going to go ahead and probably keep this one the same, maybe. Let's say we're going to make this like the name of the game, our variable or our parameter. So we're going to go ahead and do game name. And therefore down here, we're going to go ahead and add the name of the game, Rogue. And then we're going to go ahead and replace this with game name and then make this an F string. Then we're going to go ahead and rerun it. And the exact same thing happens. Call it Rogue 1. And we get Rogue 1 now. Something else we can do, maybe we don't always want to say hello there. Maybe we want to have like a custom greeting. So let's make something like that. We'll call it custom greeting. Now, in this case, we not only want the person's name, but we would also like to give it like, instead of hello there, like a hi or whatever else we want. So we're going to do a greet and a name. So now we're giving it two parameters. And we're going to go ahead and do a printf statement. And we're going to do greet and then the person's name. And then make sure that we put this in. Okay, let's try that again. Name like this. And then we're going to go ahead. I think I can do this with that. Yep. And now we can use both of these. So then we'll use the greet first and then the name second. So now when we call this function, we have to make sure that we give it those two pieces of information. So instead of doing these greetings, we're going to do our custom greeting. And then instead of greet, we're going to do hi. And then we're going to do Bob. Now, if we run it, we get hi, Bob. And then we get the welcome menu. So in summary, if we want to even make our functions more customizable, we can go ahead and use parameters. And parameters allow us to make it a little bit more specific. We don't just use one parameter sometimes. We can also use two parameters or three or four. And then don't forget that if we have parameters and we're printing something, to use an F string along with these curly braces. And then also don't forget to call your functions so that they run. Functions with parameters, super useful. Even more useful though, functions that return a value. Happens all the time. Gotta know this. Or you guys can go back and take a look at functions with no parameters. Right over there. All right, take care everybody. Happy coding.